Hey guys, before this video begins, I want to talk to you quickly about passion. For my entire life, I've been a passionate Star Wars fan, and I was very fortunate enough today to actually get an invite to the press screening of The Rise of Skywalker in LA next week. If you guys would like to help me get down there, in which case get a lot of on-the-ground coverage of the movie, then I would really appreciate it, and my PayPal link is in the video description. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that I just simply don't want to miss, so I thought I would ask you for help, and I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. Thank you. And may the Force be with you, always. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and one of the weirdest things we have seen this year, one of the weirdest, scariest, craziest things I've personally seen all year when it comes to movies is this right here. Taylor Swift and Cats. Never mind the whole trailer just looked like it was a really terrible version of Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat movie from 2003. Completely feels like that. But this particular image of Taylor Swift is what I think captivated a lot of the internet because it's just weird. It just looks too realistic, and it's also, for some reason, and this is just my take on it, kind of sexualized, if I'm being fair. Feels like it's kind of being sexualized, but it's a weird thing nonetheless. And quite frankly, the trailer itself, the effects weren't done to be, and I looked at the trailer and I thought, this looks weird. Clearly the effects aren't done yet, but the backlash to it was something that was insane. I mean, we're at a point now where when they release these trailers, if they are basing it off of something and it doesn't look good, people are going to say something about it, right? And honestly, listening to that kind of feedback probably is for the best. Look what happened to Sonic. Sonic had a terrible look. They went back, they redesigned it. All of a sudden, everyone's like, yeah, no, it's all right. It's all good. But apparently the same thing happened with Cats here. So according to this article here, a controversial Cats film was remade after critical fan reaction. Director Tom Hooper reveals that the hugely negative backlash made them have a rethink. Well, yeah, I mean, the effects weren't done, so it just looked creepy. And so it's one of those things where it's like people are going to respond negatively when it looks just as weird as it does, which is why for something like this, you want to have all of the effects done, at least for the trailer, as close to the final look as humanly possible before it comes out. So it says here, cast director Tom Hooper revealed that the controversial new live-action film had to be largely remade after the hugely critical reaction to its first trailer. Upon its release back in July, the first Cast trailer was met with outrage and confusion across the internet. Like I said, lots of confusion. Lots of confusion. Hooper has now revealed to the Times that the response to the trailer led the team behind the film to rethink their process and use some of the critical responses to inform how they move forward. Saying in the same interview, it's revealed that the film was not finished. It's still not finished at the time Hooper spoke to the publication just a few weeks before its cinematic release on December 20th. Saying here, on some level, the reaction to the trailer was insane, but I do think there are lessons to be learned. And well, there are always going to be lessons to be learned, 100%. But, here it is right now, the 12th of December, 2019. This movie opens in 8 days, right? I mean, literally opens a week from today in regards to doing the early screenings. And if the movie's not done yet, if the movie is still being worked on, that's coming down to the wire. I mean, thankfully, we live in a world now where it's digital and they can actually broadcast it, I think, digitally to a bunch of theaters, as well as just putting it on a hard drive and overnighting it to a bunch of different theaters. But it's just, man, that's pretty wild that, look at this here. It just looks so freaking weird. Anyway, he says here, it was quite an amazing amount of feedback to get that fast on the design. I never intended, obviously, to make people feel uneasy. So I thought, if this is being commented upon, then what can I learn from it? He continued, the problem with the trailer was that the faces had got lost in the effects. So I went back to the designs in August and had a lot of those comments helped guide to what we did. And that's okay. So that's good. He learned a lot from the designs. Right, he learned a lot from everything, and it even does say here, Cats wasn't the first CGI film this year to have a rethink after being critically panned. A new design for Sonic the Hedgehog was recently unveiled after that whole thing went to hell, and that's true. After it went to hell, that's what happened. So, what can we as an audience pull from this? Well, essentially, it's that they listen to the fan response, but also it shows you that these studios should not release trailers with what they would call unfinished effects. If the faces for the actors got lost in the effects for the Cats and it just looked weird and creepy, which it did, then perhaps, having finished everything would make a lot of sense. And in the Sonic trailer, even that one, they had tried coming out and saying that the effects that we saw for Sonic, the design of Sonic, wasn't even like all they had done was just the trailer at that point, and that was where it wasn't like, you know, that was like, it was easy to fix. Apparently, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this. But the fact that I mean, if they've released a new trailer that has the new version of these characters, I haven't seen it. I don't know what the new version of this is going to look like, and I don't even know if you're going to be able to actually get around that. My question then becomes, will audiences go see this movie because, for one, they are fans of the theater and they want to see Cats, or will they go see it because they want to see if the effects are as bad as the trailer made it look? Because remember, a lot of the times this stuff boils down to first impressions. If the first impression is terrible, people are going to negatively react. And it's very difficult to have a second first impression. It's very difficult to change people's minds. This is something that we, I think as a society, absolutely understand. And this is where Tom Hooper and the production team and the studio are going to really, really, really find themselves in a world of hurt in a week when this movie opens up against Star Wars and it just bombs, because even people who don't want to go see Star Wars aren't going to go see Cats. And if this movie's not done yet, then we're not going to get critical reception to it yet. Although they probably are going to have critic screenings or something. It's a weird movie, but for me, the story boils down to one key aspect. What you have is a situation where the audience responded and the director and the studio listened. And they wanted to make it right. They wanted to make it better. And we're in this weird place right now where the backlash worked. If you look at Star Wars, the backlash to The Last Jedi forced them to go back in and almost kind of retcon aspects of The Last Jedi in order to make it work. The backlash to Sonic made them go back and redesign the character in order to make it work. Although on that front, that should have never even happened. And whoever made that final cut, that decision for the trailer, needs to not only be fired, but launched out of a cannon into the sun. But this is where we find ourselves here, where the online backlash to things can actually cause for improvement. And I think in many cases, we're going to see more of this kind of stuff going forward. What's funny, though, is the people that are attacking J.J. Abrams and the Star Wars crew for retconning The Last Jedi, and the people that attacked gamers for trying to get Sonic to be a better design, I haven't said a damn word about this that I've seen. And I do monitor some of those kind of people every once in a while to see what they're complaining about today. And they haven't said anything about this yet. They backlashed about Taylor Swift back in July. And then since then, it's been quiet. So when this news gets wide and we find out that they went back and listened, they altered the design based upon the backlash, are those same people going to have the same guttural reaction? No, because this has nothing to do with nerd culture. This is theater geek culture. It's an entirely different world, and not one that they're going to be able to get lots of hate clicks off of, because that's what shows you the motivation, right? Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions, let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. If you guys want to help me get down to see Rise of Skywalker so I can tell you my thoughts about it and see if it does retcon The Last Jedi, I'm currently trying to raise some funds to cover the extremely overpriced airplane ticket because it's so close to its release. Link for that in the video description. Thank you guys so much. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.